You know, what was really unique about this project specifically is that it was a very archive-heavy documentary. Most of the film exists in the past, and so something that I didn't have a ton of experience with before is really delving into archives and searching through, you know, storage lockers on the Upper West Side of New York or in Woodstock or in LA to find rare negatives or reels of film or any sort of ephemera that we could use in the documentary. And that was a really interesting experience for me, because it's almost like you're an archaeologist going to uncover your film as opposed to inventing it in the edit suite or something like this.
There is something that we go on our journeys and everything, and it's called a gut feeling. In so many cases, in so many creative endeavors, that you think, I know this is taking a shot, it's taking a risk maybe, but something tells you, go forward. And you feel something. It's quite mysterious in a way of, you know, what trust you can have. But besides seeing Daniel's work and everything, and when I met him, I thought, I recognize something here. I recognize other people that I've met over the years that had that certain spark, that certain something. And I thought, I'm feeling this. And then there was a certain point that it struck me, because I said to him, you know, when we first met, I said, by the way, how old are you? You know, and he said, 24. And I said, what? He said, no. So anyway, I thought, my God, I was 24 when I made music from Big Pink with the band, and it just rang a bell, and it said, okay, let's give it a shot.
Right. I was never one of those kids that had music going all the time. I was not one of those people. I wasn't in my household, but I obviously understood the power of music and what it could mean to movies, to television shows, and things like that. As I've started to move in, especially into the documentary world as a director, and in this case as a producer, here's what's amazing. You have these powerful stories, and yet there's this other element. Not only could you never possibly afford to have a soundtrack in a motion picture you would direct like we have in Once We're Brothers. It's incredible. So it's a great experience for audiences. But you have the story of human beings, and you have their voices in this other mode, this other medium that's equally powerful and works on this kind of amazing subliminal level. And I think that's one of the reasons why films that combine, you know, a great narrative story, a rich set of characters with this with incredible music, it's just so, you know, it's captivating for audiences, and so therefore it's also, you know, really exciting for filmmakers.
Some years ago, we really didn't understand alcoholism and addiction like it's come, you know, it's become much more clear what that really is. Nobody referred to it back then the way they do to now. So today when I look back on it, I feel very sad that we didn't have the tools to be able to help one another in this group. We probably did everything that you're not supposed to do. Why, if you do that again, I'm gonna, you know, all that kind of stuff. There wasn't a support system. And so, you know, I carry a bit of sadness about that, because I've lost, you know, 3 of my brothers in this group, and it just, although I am motoring on, I am accepting the new challenges, and I've got so many things that I want to discover and get to in my work. Still, whenever I go to that place in my heart where I think I lost these guys, and I was helpless in it, and it was a devastating feeling too.
You know, we've done so many projects about, you know, scripted projects, and often the people were still alive. And I think that at the end of the day, that, you know, your obligation is to the story and the audience, sure, but you do know you're going to have to look this individual in the eye at some point. And if you've synthesized, if you've made a kind of a shortcut in any way, you have to be able to really explain that you made it with integrity to support the narrative and some other truth. And so I think whether it's scripted or or whether it's a straight documentary, you always want to be able to look yourself in the mirror, and you certainly want to be able to look your subject in the mirror or their survivors,
right.
and and feel that you got at the truth.
I think that there is always great work being done. I never lose faith that there will be people coming along making a great contribution. And music, there's a lot of stuff today that I just love. And the biggest difference, though, for me between then and now, then the music that I was involved with, that I made, that I did with Bob Dylan, that I did with the band, we were in a generation that the music was the voice of that generation. Everybody, gathered around that voice. And so you felt a responsibility to talk about something, to tell a story about something that had a deeper meaning to it. And nowadays, they don't have that kind of pressure to have to do something like that. But we were, our leaders were being assassinated. There was this terrible war going on. So this unification in that generation had a lot to do with the soundtrack of it. And now people, like I said, don't have that pressure to do that. And so it calls on a different thing in the culture to me. It's called have a good time. And it's also called tell us about your last relationship and the breakup. That's what so many records are made about today. And, and sometimes you think, like Brian's saying, well, that's a worthy cause. Me, I don't care about your last relationship, really, honestly. But go ahead and vent. It's okay. Well, this is just, talk about a celebration of a project. And to have made this film, and we started out in a very modest way, with White Pine. We were just saying, you know what, we want to do something really nice, really good. It's inspired by your book, and we really enjoyed the book. It's a Canadian thing, all of that stuff. And it grew, and it grew, and it grew, and now we're here tonight. I mean, I can't imagine a bigger compliment than opening the Toronto International Film Festival, with a young Torontonian director here and this kind of team. It doesn't get better. This is all part of this gumbo that I'm just in the middle of, and I started doing this when I was 16 years old, and I still feel very much that same heartbeat of, just like I was saying earlier, you get up and you say, okay, oh my God, this is gonna be, I'm so looking forward to this, and I don't know if I can do it. You know what I mean? It's so different. It's such a challenge. Where do we begin? We got a blank canvas here. Oh my God. And then it's just exciting to be able to do the creative process. It's just one of the most exciting, sometimes scary, but wondrous things to be able to do. So I just can't stop these. And I've never exposed before the art that I do. And in this case, the songs, I could see them. They were like, again, little movies, which I've been writing songs like that for a long time. But then these images started coming forward, and I thought, I'm going to share this now for the first time. So, yeah, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!